Fishkin is the Wizard of Moz. They're a funded, huge company. Started in the SEO space actually as a personal blog of Rand Fishkin, and is now this huge company, tens of millions of dollars in revenue. And luckily, Rand was nice enough to sit down with me on the Digital Agency Marketing Podcast, and we covered a few good topics around marketing. And in this video, I want to break down the top 3 things that we talked about on the podcast. Here is a picture of Rand. He's known for his mustache, also known for MozCon. He's got a really great YouTube channel as well that's worth subbing to. He does these Whiteboard Friday videos where he breaks down SEO tips and tactics in a very straightforward manner. The first thing we talked about was strategy versus tactics.
Yeah, I think that one of the challenges a lot of marketers have is we're in the weeds doing the work, right? This is especially true for SEOs, but almost every kind of web marketer has to do a lot of very tactical work, right? How do I optimize this campaign? How do I analyze this? How do I set up this reporting? And so it can be very tempting when you are in situations that demand strategic answers and responses to give very tactical ones. And I found myself doing this many, many times when I talk to, other companies or people at Moz. And sometimes you have to, take the temperature of the room that you're in. If you are talking to C-level executives, it may not be all about, hey, we need a keyword to content map so that we can figure out where the demand is and start serving that, right? And instead say, well, let's talk about reaching the right audience, and that audience is influencers, right? So now you've gone a level up from the tactics, and you said, you're speaking the language that they understand, and getting to the goals that they want to get to, which is, I need to reach this audience. I want them to understand our brand in this way, and I hope to convert, some of them into leads or sales.
Another huge thing is to know what marketing channels to focus on, and Rand does that by having an experimental budget.
Basically identifying areas of opportunity, identifying areas of existing impact, and then identifying sort of experimental regions. And we sort of try all 3. We generally reserve around 20% of our time for experimental sorts of marketing, both in channels and in investments, the types of content that we create and all that kind of thing. And then there's what I would call areas of opportunity. So this is essentially, we're more sure that they work. We've tested them in the past. They seem to do well for us, and we continue to invest in them. We think there's more growth to be had there.
Lastly, we talked about the KPIs for each part of the marketing funnel.
In terms of other web marketers at Moz and how they're tied to KPIs, so some folks work basically on top of funnel, and the KPIs that they report on and the quality of the work that they're measured on is essentially top of funnel metrics. So those are things like the growth of our traffic, the growth of traffic to various sections and areas of the site, and then external influence in other communities like the growth of our social accounts and the influence of those. And then we have marketers who work more in the middle and bottom of funnel, and those are essentially conversion rate optimization professionals, and they are really tied to how do we get people moving through our funnel to take a free trial, how do we get more people to complete that checkout process, and then we have marketers who work on the retention side, and so essentially their job is to work on areas that can influence whether people stick around and don't cancel their subscription, those kinds of things.
It's worth checking out the full interview on the Digital Agency Marketing Podcast. Rand also talked a lot about how in their company they've got 2 roles. Basically, they've got managing people and they've got artisans that actually work on the product. And the producers, which is different than most companies, they make actually the same amount of money as the managers. And one of the things Rand was saying was just because somebody can manage somebody doesn't mean they're worth more. Those producers are worth as much, if not more, for creating that high quality work. And there's a bunch of other insights like that on the podcast. So make sure to check that out. Like this video to encourage this type of content on YouTube. Subscribe to this channel for more B2B sales training. And if you need marketing support for your digital agency, check out experiment27.com. Thanks.